Envoy. The eyes of Paradis are still upon you. Watch your step.
You got lucky with the last one you set free, Envoy. Not sure I'd risk it again.
You spared us. That does not mean that we have lost interest in you. Your mercy for our compatriots has not gone unnoticed. Take this. We deem you worthy. This time. We trust you will remember our gratitude.
Hold a moment. They tell me you're going to Emerald Stair. Business or pleasure? Well, just remember to cover your mouth, sneeze into your elbow, and sleep with lavender under your pillow. Fair warning, Envoy. Before you showed up, Inquisitor Lodwyn barged past me. She was looking none too pleased. Yikes. Whatever happened between you two, I'm glad you made it out alive. Anyway, I thought you should know Lodwyn's on the prowl. Tread lightly.
So Lodwyn's somewhere out there doing who knows what. Wonderful.
Given how angry she was about Wolf, probably best we give her a wide berth.
You're cleared to pass, Envoy.
Can't say I'm sad to be leaving Paradis. I had no idea how tense things were with the Adherans moving in. And now we have to worry about whether the man who killed you is going to try again.
Believe me, that's a relief. Besides, the Steel Garrote's all too eager to take up that mantle.
Steel Garrote? I figured they're just more intense Adheran soldiers.
They're certainly making their presence known. Can't say they're making any friends, though.
I don't like that Lodwyn woman. She gives me the vreekas.
Yeah, I've seen floggings gentler than the scolding she gave Hylgard. One's tacking when the other's jibing, if you catch my drift. And that's gonna mean trouble for everyone around them before long.
And it's a good thing we're getting out of the city.
Yeah. Much as Liviana misses our company, I wouldn't count on your mysterious friend reviving you a second time.
Are you listening to that friend when you go all blank-eyed from time to time? Does your special friend talk to you? I mean, I had an imaginary friend when I was little, but they never brought me back from the dead.
He means that with all due professional respect, of course.
How do you know this friend doesn't mean us any harm? Unless they have their own use for you. That's what's giving me the shakes.
We're headed to Fior Ivérno to see if the animancers know anything about the Dreamscourge, right? Maybe we'll learn something about your condition in the process.
Right. When it comes time to deal with animancers, you two are on your own.
Fair enough, but I wouldn't expect a warm welcome. Hylgard's already brought your homeland's prohibitions against animancy to Paradis.
They could stand around and have scholarly debates about souls all they want. Gives me a great opportunity to take a nap.
I haven't been back in a while, but Fior is, an interesting place. It was founded about 50 years ago by a disgraced Valian duke and a handful of animancers who'd soured on politics in the republics.
Town full of nobles, scholars, and leeches, all surviving off the work of the farmers who grow food for the whole island.
They're an eccentric bunch. You'll see. It turns out that academics are as ungovernable as the rest of us rabble.
You don't understand what they're messing with. They can't tame the wilds with machinery.
They've held it at bay until recently. Their ingenuity, or madness, or heresy, take your pick, has fed a lot of people in the living lands. But, rumor has it, some unnatural blight is destroying their crops. We'll find out soon enough. And while we're in Emerald Stair, there's something I've been putting off. An old friend from my time in Thirdborn had a cabin out in the woods. Tama. He passed a while ago, but he left something for me that I never got around to picking up. But since we'll be in Emerald Stair anyway... You won't regret it. Emerald Stair's lovely this time of year. Even the Delimgon bloom.
No matter what I tell you, you keep picking flowers from things that want to kill you.
Hey, they love me. You just gotta ask nicely. Compliment their foliage.
Right. Maybe buy them a drink before they choke you to death with vines. Imagine a flooded area, but instead of water, it's all plants that just seem to want you lost, starving, and dead. Step on the wrong thorn or eat the wrong leaf, and you'll find yourself paralyzed or exploding out of both ends.
He's just trying to scare you. But he's also right. You and I have quite the adventure ahead of us, Envoy.
Our deal was I'd help you find your assassin. I did that. I figured you'd probably travel faster with fewer people anyway. I have, things to do back in Paradis. It keeps me plenty busy.
Come to think of it, I haven't been to Emerald Stair in a while, and the Envoy's never been. Know any good guides we could hire?
None that could help the two of you. You need the best guide in the lands to keep you from getting yourselves killed.
Yeah. Who else is going to show us which mushrooms we can eat, and which ones want to eat us?
Now that you mention it, you're gonna need my help if you're traveling through the lands with this Nimdude. I have 2 rules. No campfire songs, and no hugs. That last one's non-negotiable.
I hear wiggle room on the singing.
If we're done being ridiculous, we should get some rest. We'll be in Emerald Stair tomorrow.
Good to have you with us, Marius.
Right. Go to bed before you violate the hugging rule. Envoy? Fior Ivérno, huh? Guess if you're looking for an animancer, that's the place to go. No, none more than usual. Both settlements are survivors. They just use different methods. Don't spend much time worrying about animancy myself. Never really needed it. Take everything you know about forests and make it 100 times more aggressive. I've led a few people there from Paradis or Thirdborn, and I've almost lost someone on every trip.
Someone's slipping.
I said, almost. Of course I can. You're stronger than the typical explorer, and Kai, well, he's got us.
Just remember that the next time I draw fire away from you two.
Right, changing the subject. Companions? It's just Kai, isn't it? As you know, Kai and I have worked together in the past. It's a blessed miracle he never got me killed. Honestly, he's a good guy. A bit too quick to ask questions for my taste, but... Kai's good enough. Tell him I said that I'll cut a hole in your water skins. Ask away. Yes, I did. The less we talk about that, the better. No, I really don't. I don't need to know how many men you've killed to know you're more than capable in battle. Now, we just met, Envoy, and I'm here to do a job. Maybe we'll be best of friends someday, but this isn't that day. Best we just keep things professional. Thank you. Not everyone accepts that some things are best left in the past. Well, I'm one of the very few people who spends most of their time out in the wilds and haven't gotten themselves killed yet. I know the difference between hay-bleed toxin and high-tox bloom, which is something you should be really thankful for. And you know the Ballarok and the Grinning Ballarok? No, but I am one of the few who have seen a Ballarok and lived. Mostly because I had the brains to run the Dragu out of there. The key is survival. I understand that, and a lot of people don't. And that's why they're dead, and I'm still here. We're gonna get you where you're going, Envoy. Alive and with as few blithe-tail bites as possible. That, more or less, is all you need to know about me. Oh, you noticed. I don't know. I've heard stories all my life about the gods and magic, and they never seem to do any good for anyone. It's just Pargrunan wilderness lore, developed over the centuries in Solace. Tricks, traps, gadgets, nothing more. But hey, if people want to think it's magic, then go ahead. I'm not gonna bend over backward just to seem internally consistent. Almost all of them. Andra pulling down the moon to destroy civilization, the Godhammer bomb, all that stuff down in the Deadfire. No one as fickle as those gods seem to be should ever be put in charge of reincarnation, I tell you that. Basically, the goddess Andra wanted a civilization dead, so she pulled down the moon to do it. They say Abidan shattered the moon to save the people, and then threw himself in the way of the largest shard. And for his interference, Andra built Abidan a statue as a tribute. Huh. Makes no sense at all. Somebody who was a prophet of Aethys decided to start a holy war. To stop him, his enemies built a giant bomb that could kill a god. Stories say the goddess Magrin helped them build it. Sounds about right to me. Anyway, the bomb went off and killed a lot of people. People who wouldn't have died if gods hadn't decided to bicker about. I don't know how you missed it. The god Aethys woke up one day and decided to stomp his way across the world. Imagine, an enormous, unstoppable statue destroying everything in sight. I heard he wanted to destroy the wheel and end reincarnation forever. I wasn't there, but it all happened just a few years ago. Strange you hadn't heard of it. Right. More trouble than they're worth, if you ask me. Well, you asked, I answered. Feel free to cast all the spells and cry out to whatever gods you like. I won't stop you. Just don't expect me to join in. Same one you are. What kind of blessed question is that? Oh, I see. I sometimes use Lember without really thinking about it. That's what you mean, right? Lember is the language spoken in Solace, though everyone knows Adiran because it's a common tongue. You don't hear Lember much in the rest of the lands. Makes it easy to see which of us are from Solace and which aren't. I barely realize I'm doing it anymore. If you want to learn Lember, you'll have to spend time in Solace. And that's not going to happen anytime blessed soon. Fine. How about Adriga Ivuli Tola Jetule? Who are you calling Jetule, Nimdut? Sorry, Envoy. Just having a little fun. I'm sure you'll pick it up as we travel. It's not that blessed difficult. Right, changing the subject. Not before I've done some reading.
Who knew plants could be so threatening? Not a whole lot, and I've been happy keeping it that way. Playing around with essence, poking at souls, trying to move them out of and into places they shouldn't be, it makes me queasy. Though, if we're going to understand the Dreamscourge and your godlike lineage, I suppose we'll have to get comfortable with it. Still, I'm happy to leave those pursuits to other people.
Exactly. Other people. People who are a safe distance away.
Not the same way adherents do. We've got no laws against it. I've just always felt more comfortable with things I can see and grasp for myself. Don't get me wrong, most animancers are nice enough people. But even nice people get strange ideas from time to time. Night, Envoy.
Don't get too close to it. More on the way.
Come on, boy. Get him.
Behind? And you.
Fantastic. People. I was about to lose my wits.
A mind's question. The dust of the Akita in her hair. She knocks. We would answer.
You wouldn't happen to have a ladder on hand, would you?
No ladders, Envoy. Wouldn't fit in the packs.
You're welcome to my shoulders.
Shoot. That vase is far too high for me, and a ladder would have been perfect. But perhaps we don't need one. You're tall, striking, and well-toned. Do they really? Well, I wonder what other advantages godlikes come with. Maybe the three of you have experimented?
I'll try anything twice.
It's more of an animancy thing, isn't it?
In any event, I already have a lover. He always carries a ladder. But, sadly, he's busy helping the animancers in Fior, and I need this vase now. Oh, absolutely not. Vidaro, the governor, is an uptight postinago. But if you want to know about the governor, fetch me that artifact. The vase sits atop that tower beside us, in the ruins there. And once you've got it, look me up. Yatzli, wizard extraordinaire, godless expert, and a Balrog in the bedroom.
You do meet the most interesting people.
I can get you 1,000 vases that don't require going into some ancient ruins, but no one listens to me.
The vase, did you get it? Back already? Back, you're fast.
Right behind you.
Arms up! Show me what you got! Everyone okay?
Aware I can see you digging through my things, aren't you? I'm heading home,
Let's see what you got. Let's go.
I think I sprained my shoulder. I've never seen Emerald Stair like this. It's usually so nice. Listen, Kai, I need you to stalk like a cat, not stomp around like a Balrog.
My training was a lot bigger on stomping than stalking, unfortunately.
Right, and I got cooking lessons in solace, but you don't see me making beetle mash every night for dinner. The bears out here can hear a snapfly dropping Sokka from across the stair. You don't want to get eaten, you need to walk softly.
I'll remind you of that next time you start playing your flute at camp.
That is different. Bear's natural prey doesn't tend to play flutes.
They might show up to get you to stop.
I've had this flute for years, and I have yet to be killed by a bear.
On second thought, maybe that's what's keeping them away.
touched something like your dreams before. We have questions. We will leave when we are satisfied. A killer freed. A predator returned to the woods. You bled and forgave. Why? Should he not suffer for your pain? Tales entwined. Your mouth is our mouth. Your pain, our pain. A dam broke. We wept in the dark when your soul slipped away. We feared for you, felt your agony. We could not forgive. Petals disperse on the wind. Wake now. We have tending to do.
Good fighting.
Or is this? Has anyone figured out how to get rid of it?
Take it up with. I don't make the rules. Go home, lay traps in the woods and pray for game. I can't help you.
We know you're stashing the grate somewhere. Well, let's have it.
You're the first godlike to come through in... well, I can't remember how long. I hope that's a good sign. I'll take what I can get. If the gods don't bless us with a harvest soon, this market will be empty come winter. Really? You know the gods don't exactly favor animancy. I'll wager you have more questions than most. If you need an animancer, you'll have to clear it with the governor. He lives in the big manor on the far side of town. Let me know if anything strikes your fancy. We don't have much, but the harvest hasn't bled us dry yet. What'll it be? Godlike?
the armored mask. We dream of steel and shard earth and flame. The memory binds. Flee from her. We fear. For us. For you. Blazing ire. It burns and feeds upon itself. Pain through the smoke, we recall. You are not safe with her. We reach. The spines tear into us. We pull our hands away. But the old scars do not lie. We burned once. Burned. We know. A storm from the same spark. All pain cuts with the same blade. Steer clear of the scourging fire, or extinguish it. Cull or tend, the bear's blood nourishes the earth. The flame spreads toward the garden wall. Listen. Have care. Have care.
One moment.
Andra's titties, you found it! I tried using magic to get the vase down, but alas. Thankfully you and your little friends came along and saved the day.
Excuse me. We're all bigger than you are, Nimdude.
I may be small, but my magic is not, I assure you. That I did, although I can't imagine why. Vidaro is insufferable. First and foremost, Fior Ivérno is an animancer sanctuary. Vidaro, unlike his father, the former governor, is not an animancer. I don't know why anyone would give two pyres about Vidaro. He loathes the idea of others thinking Fior is less than perfect. Emerald Stair used to be the breadbasket of the living lands. Now it won't bear fruit, and there are rumors of plague. Pleasant, isn't it? But I'd best pack up. I want to get home. I've a new artifact to study. Thank you for your help, Godlike. Even if you didn't have a ladder.
Well, that's something I hope never happens again.
I've got a few inches to spare if she changes her mind.
And of course I forgot a ladder.
Is it just me, or does the night seem darker here? It's been years. It was always green and overgrown, but I don't remember it being quite this. Yeah. Something about Emerald Stair has always been unsettling. Everything in the living lands grows wild, but it's different here. Those giant roots, whatever they are, I don't remember them being quite as big or close to the settlement. Well, there's a thought to keep me up at night.
Oh, the living lands definitely hates us. That's why people like me even get work.
I don't like reading that much into things. Maybe that's why I'm still a bachelor.
Is that what it is? That wasn't even on my list.
Either way, when I wake up with night terrors, I'm waking you both up with me. If you get up in the night, don't wander too far.
really don't think you can deny that everything wrong in Fior obviously comes from using animancy.
We don't use animancy on our farms in Dawnshore, and our forests aren't trying to kill us.
I don't know what you want from me. The other animancers and I are just doing the best we can to survive.
Fior will be better able to survive if they accept help from the adherents.
The adherents have already made great strides in bringing order to Paradis.
I just want to go home without being harassed.
Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giata's about to tear that poor man a new one. One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giata's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when animancers fight.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Lodwyn said you might be heading this way. Captain Alfair of the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Good. Perhaps he will listen to you. I am not fashioned for statecraft. Still, I think the governor is too stubborn to be persuaded even by the Emperor's finest. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adherin interests. Barter for peace, prepare for war. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace? Only we had these tusks.
Genuine healing crystals, purest in all of Eora.
Oh, los poors.
So, the Be careful with all... Ah, those Done. They're not evil, it is just in their nature to push back against the expansion of civilization. Still, survival of the fittest and all that, eh?
Have you heard? Giata's causing trouble at the governor's mansion again.
You must admit she has a point. We should do something about the Dreamscourge, not simply wait for it to pass.
Careful with that kind of talk. The governor.
Would you care? If you're looking for sanctuary, you have found it. The Gifted Magpie is a house of calm, rational discussion. We have only 2 rules of conduct. Maintain dignity and speak in a soft tone of voice. To put it gently, yes. Giata Castel is giving our governor a piece of her mind, loud enough to rattle the windows. Animancers are miracle workers, but their work breeds obsession, rivalry, and bitter disagreement. Their anxiety keeps me in business. This tea house is where troubled minds come to approach problems from a quieter angle. Regrettably, we are out of tea. My stockpile is exhausted, and the harvest has not kept up with demand. We have other goods for sale, if you care to peruse them. Trinkets I have collected over the years.
Spirits are truly wonderful, powerful, self-aware, and reach with insight.
Insight, you say?
Indeed. The spirits have access to life.
Come on. My invention is guaranteed.
What's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dreamscourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dreamscourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now! How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dreamscourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure she didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dreamscourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
We definitely agree on that.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dreamscourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dreamscourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Once again, bureaucracy stands in the way of getting things done.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell her about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dreamscourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Chiata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Ivèrno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giata is an outcast.
Governor, this is unacceptable. Your father would have kept this community together at any cost.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior, Miss Ivérno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
Envoy. Ah, a pleasure to share your company again, traveler. One job. Pour you a drink, godlike? Well, I'll be a godlike in the bone and bore. Apologies for the ruckus outside. The animancers never know when to shut their mouths. I might be more amused if it didn't happen so often. But that's animancers for you. Except Giata and Quilici, that is. They are the only animancers taking the Dreamscourge seriously. Try telling that to Vidaro and the animancers. But the rest of us, we've all heard the rumors from outside. Animals gone mad, terror stalking the wilderness day and night. Birds' bells, of course. If Emerald Stair runs out of food, we are in dire straits anyway. We've had crops fail before, but never food rations. The governor says it's just a temporary precaution, but I am not buying it. So, we ought to drink while we can. Agreed? Anything I can get you? Welcome back, envoy. I've got a powerful feeling we weren't supposed to see this. My hands.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior, Miss Ivérno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. So am I. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dreamscourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dreamscourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Nadiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers.
We will set aside our differences for the greater good, won't we, Giada?
Our first order of business is the Dreamscourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Miss Ivérno. Forever. As much as I would love that, we're already out of time. When it comes to the Dreamscourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. I hope so, because we're running out of options. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dreamscourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. We can't make something out of nothing. We're still limited by our resources. I could use a large single block of Atra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgon queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgon in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgon queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
If you can convince her to hand it over, I'll be more than impressed.